Hi there.
Lean in.
Oh, honey, is this better?
There, that's much better.
Yeah.
I say to her, lean into the picture a little. Well, I'm leaning in, but you're not leaning in. Okay, so we're both leaning in. Hi, everybody. Come lean with us.
Lean on me.
There you go. Bill Withers. Yeah. That's part of our
routine.
Yeah, you hear a song. Who did that? What was the name of the group?
It's good for the mind.
Yes, it fights off
Age.
Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
You know, they say there's 3 sure signs of old age. The first is loss of memory.
And I can't remember.
And I can't remember the other 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Old vaudeville joke. I think Henny Youngman actually did that one.
Nobody
way back
has no idea who you're talking about.
There's no. Well, I'll bet there are some people that are listening.
One
to
or
us right
two
now that know who Henny Youngman is. Trust me, one or two. You're right.
Excuse me while I adjust myself. Who wants to see a shirt that's all wrinkly?
like the commercial for that guy that's wearing the V-neck that's all whatever because he didn't.
Oh yes,
he didn't.
Yes,
he didn't wash it in the proper detergent and everything.
Well,
so his V-neck looks like a U-neck,
and it does. It really does.
But at the end of the commercial, because he used the product,
he looks good.
Perfect V-neck.
Anywho,
anyway,
here we are again.
Yeah, we were talking about lying. Like I always say that
lying in wait
in today's political environment, especially, it's like lying has become acceptable. If you just don't tell the truth, it doesn't matter. It's okay. You're still. I have a hard time with that.
I thought we're not going into political.
No. I'm just saying that's just a baseline. But we as a society, I think, have accepted untruths a little bit too much. And I mean, there's a lot.
There's so many different forms of what you're talking about.
Well, there is. I mean, there's simple little what we used to call fibbing. If I'm trying to think of an example or something. Sometimes you would say that you really liked somebody when you really didn't like them, so you were kind of fibbing.
Usually it went the other way around.
Yeah, or you would be invited over to somebody's house for dinner and all. They would serve something and it maybe had a little bit too much spices in it, and they say, "Well, how is your dinner?" And you'd say,
delicious.
"Oh, this is delicious. I have never had this dish before, but this is delicious." And then
that's a good kind of lying, fibbing. I mean, that's okay.
See, I think that's part of the problem that we were talking about. When is lying good?
Well, we didn't say good. It's acceptable.
I have a hard time with that.
You're going to hurt somebody's feeling and then say, "Thank you for inviting me for dinner."
All right, let's go back to that scenario. Somebody says, how is your dinner? I would probably say, I don't have anything to compare this to because I've never had this dish before.
Well, if you're in a restaurant, you don't care so much. If you're at somebody's house, you should care,
because for instance, last week we went out to a takeout place, and where you order the meat and 2 sides, and I happened to order a Spanish corn,
right,
as my side. I couldn't eat it. It had cayenne pepper. It had cilantro.
But you're not hurting anybody's feelings by saying that.
What I am saying is that it was bad. If I was sitting in the restaurant and somebody from the restaurant came around and said, how is your dinner? How is your chicken? Fine. Yeah. Oh, and how do you like that corn? Am I going to say, it's honestly, it's a little bit spicy for me. And I probably would say that.
I would.
But some people would probably say, it's not bad. It's pretty good. And that's telling a lie. It's telling a fib. It's what they call stretching the truth, which I never could understand that phrase. What is stretching the truth? Stretching the truth means you're not telling the truth.
That's true, but I don't, the only time I object to it is if you, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. If you're being mean.
That's okay.
That's, then it's okay. But if it's going to come back to hurt this person in the long run, then,
All right. Now, can I take the opposite side of that statement? Because that's what opposite Saxes is all about. If you say a lie to somebody because you don't want to hurt their feelings, how is that helping them improve their service? If in fact it's in a restaurant and I say, I think the corn's a little bit too spicy. If I think I would probably ease up on the cumin or something, or next time I come in, can I order the corn without the spices? To me, what that's called is helpful criticism.
oh, yeah, that's fine.
You're saying to
Right.
your host or whatever, maybe you need to tweak the recipe.
Yeah, no, I see no problem with that.
But to say, it's really not too bad because I don't want to hurt your feelings means every time I come into this restaurant, I'm not going to order that dish because you're going to keep making it the same way.
Yeah, no, and then you're not going to go back. No, what I'm alluding to, a restaurant is fine, and you're also paying for what you're getting, so you really want to like it. But I'm talking about an interaction with another person or two or three. And if it's going to hurt somebody's feelings, then you're careful about what you say. Or if it's something that we're talking about with our grandson, and you're kind of choosing your words because you don't want to upset him.
Sure, no,
then you watch what you're saying and how you say it.
Well, okay, yeah, and a good example of that is with a youngster when a pet dies.
Yeah, or a relative.
You don't want to just say, "Oh, your bird is dead." You may want to say, Tweety is with the other birds up in heaven.
Right.
There's
ways of
there's a
saying
tactful way of doing things, and you're in essence, that is that little white lie, if you will, because you don't know if Tweety is actually in heaven with the other birds. You just know that Tweety's dead. but
You're so cold.
No, but I mean, you want to be truthful all the time, then you tell it as it is.
Well, but it depends too on
this
their
corn
age.
makes me gag. Please take it back. Bring me the mac and cheese instead. Which some people will do in a restaurant.
Anything wrong with that? I mean, it's like Judge Judy will always say, you can't eat the steak and not pay for it.
Eat the whole steak and then say, I didn't like it. I'm not going to pay for it. You can only have,
if you take a spoonful or two, then you say something, but you can't eat the whole thing.
And we have been out for dinner with friends, and we are not drinkers.
No.
But they will order a martini and actually take a sip and say, this just isn't right. And they'll say, okay, can I bring you another one or bring you something else?
Yeah.
The
same as wine.
That's
they do that with wine.
for the waiter to come and say, how's your martini? And you say, it's not bad. It's okay. When that's a fib, it's not, you're not being honest. And
well, that's okay. You're paying for that. So I don't have a problem with that. It's when you're going to hurt somebody else's feelings. I'm always conscious of that because
how about if,
want to be treated?
How about if a couple calls up and says, hey, why don't we go out for dinner Saturday night? And you say, well, I'd like to, but I got this little bit of a sore throat, because you really maybe don't want to go out with that couple, or you don't really enjoy spending time with them. So you invent a sore throat and say, I'm not really feeling good. Maybe another time.
Well, what else would you say? I'm sorry, I don't want to go out with you.
Well, but what you're doing is you're telling a little lie or a fib,
and in that case,
you're hoping that maybe they will catch the drift. And when they hang up, they say, You know what? I don't think he's got a sore throat. I don't think they want to go out with us.
No, just once or twice they won't. But if it's done repeatedly and you think of excuses, eventually they'll get the hint.
Yeah. Or if you say
But-
to them, well, yeah, why don't we invite the Smiths to go along with us too? Because
then you won't have to talk to the other couple. So much.
right. Then it doesn't have to be a one-on-one conversation. You're sharing it in a group.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there's ways
There's
to
ways
be
to handle,
tactful,
yes.
but to be tactful honestly, you know?
Yeah, you know, because our grandson is getting older and we're thinking that he can accept more things and understand more. We are trying to get to that more truthful side of the coin, shall we say, versus when he was younger and wasn't going to understand or might be hurt by something. Then we told more fibs. Now we're really trying to.
Well, and I think that's fair to say when you're talking to children, you want to be tactful about what you say and how you say it, whether the news is good news or bad news. You want to be tactful, but where is that? At what age does that kind of stop? And now you say, you know, it might hurt this person's feelings a little bit, but I've got to be truthful.
Well, as far as kids, you go wherever the parents are going. You have to talk to them and ask them. But as far as an adult,
or the kids actually learn it from other kids.
The kids do learn it from other kids.
You know,
but you know, as
when a kid comes home and says, wait a minute, Mom, Dad, why didn't you just tell me that Tweety died? You know, what are you giving me this song and dance about going to heaven?
Or there is no Santa Claus. That's the latest thing, that there is no Santa Claus.
Yeah, is Santa Claus real or is he imaginary? Like the Easter Bunny,
right?
And the Tooth Fairy,
right?
I mean, I know adults that still believe in the Tooth Fairy because there's money involved. Come on, give me a break.
Oh no, couldn't be an adult. But
listen, when I get older and my teeth start falling out, I'm going to put it under the pillow and hope that maybe the Tooth Fairy will drop a 20 or something.
A 20?
Well, by today's standards, it used to be a dime for a while. Maybe it got to a quarter.
You are wishful thinking.
What did our grandson get? A $10, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, Lord, $10. That's
well, that's because
they have to work a whole day to get $10.
Well, they live on the expensive side of the tracks.
Well, they hired a more expensive tooth fairy. There's tooth fairies are us.
Hey, you're also showing your age.
Yeah. I do that every week.
Yes. but the psychologists always say, as far as kids are concerned, just answer the basics. Don't belabor the subject. Try and make it short and sweet. Just enough so that they accept it and they say, okay.
Well, there's also that philosophy that it is a lot easier and better to tell the truth than to try and cover a lie, because if you tell a lie, you have to keep telling lies in order to cover
the other side. Yeah.
If you tell the truth up front, and that's the thing that's, I think, a learned process, and that is, how do you tell the truth in a way that isn't going to be hurtful? You know, how do you tell somebody that they have bad breath?
Sometimes there isn't a way.
You know,
sometimes, it will be hurtful. But
you know, do you say to somebody, you know, when was the last time you brushed your teeth because your breath really reeks?
Well,
you know, or do you say, here, mint?
Yes. Right. Right. Or have you ever tried such and such a mouthwash? I tried it for the first time and wow.
What mouthwash do you use? Yeah, because I've been using Listerine, and I just started doing it, and they're sitting there thinking, "Oh, you're trying to tell me I got bad breath." Well, that's a tactful way of saying, "Yeah, that I am." Now, if your dentist says to you, "Geez, your breath is terrible. You should start rinsing with mouthwash." Okay, that's a direct approach, but it's from a learned authority.
What about affairs?
Boy, how do you go from brushing your teeth and using mouthwash to an affair?
Because a lot of men do it.
A lot of
A lot of women do it too.
And believe me, you got to be really tactful about explaining that one.
Well, yeah.
I'm out of mouthwash. I'll be right back. I just got to go to the store and get some more mouthwash, dear.
I think it's just a whole new subject for another show. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, you can't really cover that one in a couple of minutes, especially at the end of one show. So,
oh gosh.
So before we do a show about infidelity, maybe, and you don't have to identify yourself and all, but if you want to write in and just say, here's how
I handle it.
Here's how I covered my butt.
Well, that would be interesting. I think it'd be a great show.
Okay.
I don't think we get anybody to write in and tell us.
Yeah. Who's going to admit it?
Nobody's going to say anything.
Who's going to admit it? Or you'll get it from the victim. I don't know why I was so blind. He was going out to buy an incredible amount of mouthwash. Like every Tuesday afternoon, he was going out for mouthwash. I should have known that he was meeting up with the dental hygienist.
See, it's always the medical people. All the nurses get blamed. All the techs get blamed.
Well, that's in the subject for another show. Every time you watch a medical show on TV, instead of taking care of the patients, they're in the storeroom with each other.
You wonder, does that really go on? Like in between the procedures or seeing their patients.
One of your favorite shows, Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy, the first few seasons and all, it was all about medical procedures and the interactions between the doctors and nurses and all. Now it's all about the relationship with who's going to bed with who.
Because that's what sells.
But that's it. And that's what
but I think we're getting off of the subject. And
that's what the sponsor, which is Listerine mouthwash, wants.
It's not always Listerine.
I know, but I think I'm going to go rinse out my mouth now. I got Listerine on the brain. So, but thanks for joining us. And that is the absolute truth. Okay. No lie there. We are absolutely thrilled that you come and visit with us every week.
And tune in next week.
Yep.
We have no clue what we'll be talking about, but
it'll be the truth.
Yes. See ya.